Okay, this how-to video is going to talk about OrCAD Capture CIS and some of the commands or options that it gives you, demonstrating kind of OrCAD Capture and OrCAD Capture CIS. So, from an OrCAD Capture point of view, you tend to use the place part option. So place part, you would then pick the part that you're interested in, or the library that you're interested in, put the part down, place it down, and then you tend to either add your properties to the parts, things like manufacturing part number, PCB footprint, cost, etc. You can either add those properties manually in here by clicking on new property and typing in the properties that you need, or you could actually integrate these properties as part of the graphical library part. So that can be quite time consuming and cumbersome in some instances, so there are better ways to do this. So by using OrCAD Capture CIS, what this does is gives you the ability to put all those properties into a Windows compliant ODBC database. So if you go to the control panel of every computer, the admin tools, there's an ODBC data source, is 64-bit, and under the system DSN, there's a couple of default ones that Cadence provides you with, the bench access one, or you can look at using the CIP, or the component information portal that Cadence provide, which is an SQL database server. The advantage of doing this is it limits the number of graphical parts that you need. So if instead of me using place part, I'm going to use place database part, I get the CIS Explorer window coming up, and you can see I've got a list of tables. So if I look at my resistors table, for example, we'll expand all this out, look at my 1210 footprints. These parts all reference the same schematic part, so I'm only having to have one blank resistor, but all the properties here are controlled by my database. So if I wanted to put a part down, I can effectively just double click to add the part, and then when I put these parts down onto the canvas, when I look at these parts, effectively all the properties here are transferred directly from the CIS database into my parts, which can help you speed up your placement and your error checking and your library management of all of the parts that you have. What we'll do now is we'll just close this design down. And we'll just close the Explorer window down, and I'm just going to open an existing design that I already have. So having kind of CIS also gives you more advantages for generating reports. So if we look at in an OrCAD capture flow, you would normally use the tools bill of materials. You would add the property strings that you need for your kind of header and footer. So if I had a property called manufacturer, I would add the /t brackets manufacturer here to then output that information on a bill of materials. With the CIS flow, I can use the reports CIS bill of materials and standard. I can pick any properties that I have that are inside my database, so these are all database properties that are available to me, and actually start to build reports. So you can use it as things like reliability reports, where you want to add all the tolerances and the power ratings, or you can use this for your bill of materials. The advantage of this is there's no manual intervention, everything's done directly in the template function, and then you can output directly to Excel. There's also a thing called Part Manager, so we can do a right mouse button Part Manager on the design file. This will give me effectively a list of every single part in my design, so I can also do an update, so I can then synchronize the properties in my schematic file with the properties in my database. So we'll just do an update. You'll find all of these parts kind of go to this green approved current status, which means that they're all in sync with the database. This can be really useful if I'm looking to change values or do bomb scrubbing, etc. Maybe I wanted to standardize on the parts that I'm using. I can kind of see by sorting on values if I needed to kind of like synchronize the parts. Maybe what I need to do is make some adjustments to the values here, or let's just say I needed to change all the values, so I could say I've got to effectively select all of these parts here. I want them to all use the same part number, so I could just do a right click link database part. It's automatically using value as the key search, so I could then go and pick the part that I wanted to go and use and pick that part, and then that would then update the bill of materials for me. There's also something called Part Manager. So Part Manager allows me to do BOM variants inside the design. There are other videos showing you the BOM variants function, so I'm not really going to go into that. But just so these are all the options of CIS that give you the advantages over the capture flow.